Good afternoon, everyone. Let's see. Thank you. Oh, it is a pleasure seeing everyone here, and thank you so much, and welcome to the introduction and announcement of this year's Together We Can Read book. And I am so excited to be able to welcome you here on behalf of our Mayor, Steve Benjamin, and the other members of Columbia City Council. This is the 8th year of Together We Can Read. And Together We Can Read is an initiative for those of you, and I know you've gotten our letters, but it is an initiative started 8 years ago by myself and Belinda Gergel, who was a council member at that time. And it was an opportunity to partner with our dynamic urban school district, Richland School District 1, who is the best school district in the state of South Carolina. But an opportunity to get community leaders to actually go into the schools, and not just go into the schools, but go in and read to the students and then leave with the students their own copy of the book that we've selected for the year. Every single year that we do this, we pick a book that has a South Carolina connection, but we also want to make sure that we are giving the third graders in Richland School District 1 an opportunity to see outside of where they currently are, to really understand the great city and state that they live in, and the opportunities that are available to them as students. And that, and people sometimes say the sky is the limit, and I like to say the sky is not the limit, it's just the first barrier, and there's so much further that they can go. And so we try and teach them that, and I think this year's book is definitely no exception. It is an opportunity to show the third graders in Richland 1 what they can do and what they can be, even at a young age. So I'm very, very proud to announce this year's book. And if you see, they're right up here. This year's book is written by 17-year-old Katie. Katie, I'm sorry, you're going to have to help me with your last name. Stagliano. That's beautiful. And the book that we have chosen is Katie's Cabbage. Katie's Cabbage is a book, Katie is the founder of Katie's Crops. It's a not-for-profit organization with the mission to start and maintain vegetable gardens of all sizes and donate the harvest to help feed people in need, as well as to assist and inspire others to do the same. The idea for Katie's Crops began when Katie was in the 3rd grade, and so therefore you can tell when I say that you can see, we can teach our 3rd graders what they can become. At 3rd grade, she got the idea to start a not-for-profit, and then she's gone on and started that not-for-profit and written a book that has been published. Katie's book has, I lost my place, but I know it's won several awards, so let me get back to it. Katie's Crops began when Katie was in the 3rd grade. In 2008, Katie brought home a tiny cabbage seedling from school as part of her 3rd grade cabbage program. She tended to her cabbage and cared for it until it grew to an amazing 40 pounds. Knowing her cabbage was special, she donated it to Tri-County Family Ministries, a local soup kitchen, where she served her cabbage to 275 guests at the soup kitchen. She decided that day to start a vegetable garden and donate the harvest to those in need. This book, Katie's Cabbage, was published in December of 2014 by University Press, right here at the University of South Carolina, and it is the winner of the 2015 Carol D. Reiser Children's Book Award. This award is given annually to a children's book or books published the preceding year that most effectively inspires community service and volunteerism in children. And so we are so excited to have Katie with us today, and she can't be with us tomorrow because she does have school. But we wanted to make sure that everyone saw Katie. So Katie, would you please stand? And with her is her mom, Stacy. If you would stand as well. And I will say that Katie's Cabbage is illustrated by Karen Hyde, who actually Karen reminded me that Karen and I met several years ago when the city was looking at allowing chickens being raised in the city limits. And so I visited her home at that time. She's no longer a City of Columbia resident, but still is connected to us. And so we're so glad to invite her and welcome her back to the City of Columbia as the illustrator of this book. Karen is Associate Director of the Office of Faculty Development and Teaching Excellence and Associate Professor of Art at Augusta University. She earned her PhD at the University of Georgia, an MED from Berry College, and a BFA in Painting and Drawing from the University of Tennessee. Dr. Hyde's scholarly research and writing investigates aesthetic development through a multitude of learning in the K-12 art classroom. Most recently, she has developed software for use on handheld technologies for art in the classroom. As a two-time National Art Education Foundation Research Grant winner and multiple other grants recipient, she has used funding to develop and extend a website and a free app called Handheld Art at handheldart.org. And she's a practicing artist and also certified to teach the K-12 level in the state of Georgia. So if y'all would help me welcome Karen. So now that you have seen our author and our illustrator, I just want to give Katie an opportunity to say something if she'd like.
You're as tall as I am, because I was really worried that I was going to have to move the mic. Well, I'm truly honored that the City of Columbia selected Katie's Cabbage for the 2016 Together We Can Read program. And I'm forever grateful to the First Lady of the University of South Carolina and USC Press for believing in me as a very young girl who wanted to publish a story about how a 40-pound cabbage helped me grow a dream to end hunger one vegetable garden at a time. I am thrilled to say that the next chapter in the journey of Katie's Cabbage is with third graders through the Together We Can Read program. And as you heard, Katie's Cabbage is the story of when I was in the third grade and a tiny cabbage seedling helped me grow my dream. Now I'm proud to say, as an 11th grader, my dream continues to grow. And this spring, there will be 100 Katie's Crops youth-run gardens across the United States, where all of the produce is donated to soup kitchens, homeless shelters, cancer patients, and schools across the country. What was grown from one cabbage and one dream is an example of what we can accomplish when we all work together. It is my hope that Katie's Cabbage will be a book that inspires youth across the United States, starting right here in my home state of South Carolina. And I hope that it will encourage third graders in Richland County to make a difference in their community and show them that age is just a number. Whether you're 9 or 99, together we can all make a difference in the world. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Katie. I will tell you that you've inspired more than the third graders. I would tell you that probably every adult in this classroom, in this office, is very inspired by you. And we thank you for sharing your story and having a vision to really put it into this book. So we're really excited that this is the 2016 book. I will tell you again, tomorrow, this book will be read to almost 2,000 students in Richland School District 1. And I'll tell you that this partnership has been one that has grown over the last 8 years, but it's one we certainly don't take lightly. We at the City of Columbia consider the partnership with Richland School District 1 not just something that we feel is necessary, but it's our honor because to be able to connect with our young people within the City of Columbia and then see their eyes light up as we go in and read is just extraordinary. And we would not be able to do this partnership without the extraordinary leadership that we have at Richland School District 1. So at this time, I would ask that if Commissioner Vince Ford would come forward and make a few remarks.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much. Good afternoon. On behalf of our chairperson, Madam Cheryl Harris, and the members of the board, I see Dwayne Smiling is here, our superintendent, who I think will come up and make some remarks as well. We certainly thank all of you. I'll start my remarks with two of the most important words, I think, in the English language, and those two words are thank you. Thank you to Tameika Devine for her vision and her courage and her boldness to make sure that this got started some years ago. Thank you to the City of Columbia for being our strategic partner right here in this community. Thank you to all of you who will be out there on tomorrow inspiring young people throughout this community. Thank you to the classrooms and the teachers and the students that we will serve on tomorrow. And just as importantly, thank you to this entire community, because schools are not schools in and of themselves. They're a part of a community. And the operative word in that sentence is they're a part. In order for schools to thrive and do well, the entire community has to embrace schools in order for them to perform at a high level. As a little boy growing up right here in Columbia, in fact, not too far from here on Reed Street and in the projects, I remember something that I used to do often when we didn't have the kind of things that students have today. I would get one of my mom's jars, and that's when we were recycling way back in the day, because when we'd finish the peanut butter or the jelly, we'd wash it and it'd become a jar, and I'd sneak one out of the house and I'd go into the park and I would catch bumblebees, and I would sit there often for hours and hours and watch these bumblebees. And I remember as a parent, I decided to subscribe to zoo books for my kids. And I remember when the zoo book magazine came to the house and it had a whole edition on bumblebees. So before I could give it to my kids, I got it and I read it. And I don't know if you all notice or not, but bumblebees are not supposed to be able to fly. From an aerodynamic standpoint, they don't have the dimensions that should be allow them to be able to get off the ground. See, they have very huge bodies and very small wings. And in order for that bee to fly, it has to flap its wing literally thousands of times to propel itself into the air. So here's the question that I think has never been answered. So if the bumblebee is not supposed to be able to fly, then why does it? No one has ever been able to figure this out. We've gone all over the world and we've asked scientists and others, physicists to answer that question, and they can't answer it. But I'm here today to tell you why a bumblebee flies. So this is an exclusive. The bumblebee flies simply because it's sick and tired of people telling it what it's not supposed to be able to do. Your efforts tomorrow and into the future, you're going to be able to help human bumblebees. You're going to be able to share with these students who've been told sometimes in their respective communities that they will never be, and you can fill in the blank. You'll never be anything. You'll never amount to anything. You'll never go to college. You'll never be on the honor roll. You may not even be able to read at grade level. But your efforts to go in there and help them become the human bumblebees that they are is so important. And that's why we stand here today to thank you. If I had time, Tameika, I would certainly share with this group about some of the human bumblebees that someone just like you spent time on any given day and read to those students. See, I could talk to you about Dr. Raymond Bino, who was right out of this community, who's a human bumblebee, trauma physician who was just inducted into the Richland One Hall of Fame. And if you listen to his story, he could tell you how there were odds against him, but he made it anyway. I could tell you about Dr. Lonnie Randolph, who was right out of this community, who's a human bumblebee, and who was inspired by teachers and other people in the community. I could tell you about Brigadier General NASA Director Charles Bolden, who walked the streets right here in Columbia, who was, when he was asked what he wanted to be, and he said an astronaut, someone said, no, you'll never be an astronaut. And so it took people like you and others who go into those schools during those times and encourage people to do what they needed to do. And so thank you today on behalf of our school district, on behalf of the thousands of children that we touch on a daily basis, to the leadership of Sister Tameika Devine and all of you, and Brother Jamie Devine, who's not here today. We really do thank you. We thank you for your dedication and your determination to help our children. We thank you for your commitment and for caring enough to give up your time. We thank you for your enthusiasm and all your energy. You'll get a great treat tomorrow. And as I close, we certainly thank you for your prayers and for not giving up your perseverance for all of these children. Please encourage them tomorrow to let them know that even though some people don't know why a bumblebee is supposed to fly, the bumblebee has decided that they're not going to listen to those critics out there, and they're going to fly anyway, and encourage them to be human bumblebees so that they could go on and do great things, not only in this community, but throughout this world. Thank you, Sister Devine.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Ford, and this is truly our honor and our privilege. As Commissioner Ford referenced, Dr. Craig Witherspoon, Superintendent at Richland One, is with us, and I'd ask him to come forward and bring a few remarks as well.
Thank you, and good afternoon to everyone. I too want to extend thanks to everyone in this room for going out into our schools and certainly sharing with our students. And Katie, much appreciation for your book and what it does in terms of showing those connections. And your story certainly resonates with all of us in terms of the inspiration in third grade. We're going to visit third grade classrooms and how that grows and it moves a community. And that's what we all are here to do. So the connection is real vivid, and we certainly do appreciate that. As Mr. Ford said, we have to work together, certainly as a city government and as a city and the school system, because those connections are real. And I would just ask, as you go out tomorrow and visit with our young people, you will be inspired, you will enjoy those visits. And I would just say, don't make it your last. You don't have to wait until next year this time when we go out and do this event again, but continue to make those connections and share with our young people your stories and how they can, again, go on and do great things. Because it takes all of us working together to move our students. And we have wonderful students in Richland One. It is certainly my privilege to work with the students, administrators, and everybody in this community. And you all will see and share in that as well. So we thank you for what you do. Don't make tomorrow the last day or an annual event. Adopt a student, adopt a school and a classroom, and let this joy and this experience continue day after day and month after month here in the city of Columbia. Thank you to the city of Columbia, Councilwoman Devine, for what you do in supporting Richland One, not just in this event, but throughout the year in a lot of ways where we all partner together, whether it was during the flood or whether it's other opportunities that we have throughout the year. That partnership is terrific, and we continue to support our working together. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Witherspoon. So as I get ready to close, I just wanted to share with you all a couple statistics. Over the last 8 years, we have read to over 16,000 third graders in 29 schools and have had approximately 700 guest readers. Tomorrow you will join that group where we will have over 2,000 students and again about 200 readers that will be added to this legacy that we hope will continue for many, many more years as we continue to try and expand it as well. We wouldn't be able to do it without all of our partners. I've introduced Richland School District 1, but I just wanted to say tomorrow, represented will be add this, University Press, who is, okay, I can't hear you. You gotta come tell me what you. Oh, yes, okay. Dr. Hyde, do you want to say anything? Are you sure? No, we're gonna make you come up. Come say something, please. We don't have a democracy in here sometimes, unfortunately. So, come on.
That's fine, thank you. I'm sorry. Oh no, it's really fun. So when I was asked to illustrate this book, I jumped at the chance. What an opportunity. I'm a teacher of teachers, art teachers, and this story really resonated with me and how it might be used as an interdisciplinary way to teach children in the K-12 classroom. You might ask, what can a garden teach? Imagine how a class might be able to submit landscape designs for a garden, make stepping stones, make mosaic benches, drawings. Well, that's art. Imagine how that class might discuss how plants germinate and grow into plants we eat. They might discuss insects, pollinators, water issues, recycling, and seasons. Well, that's science. Imagine how that class might delve into the study of native crops to this area, how growing food benefits communities, and how setting up public and community-based garden networks can help feed the hungry. That's social studies. Imagine laying out the garden in geometric patterns on the golden mean, figuring measurements, figuring costs for seed, soil, fertilizer. That's math. Imagine reading Katie's Cabbage, writing in a journal, and reflecting about the plants that are growing in your garden, or even elaborating on Katie's story. That's language arts. And now imagine illustrating your story, and that's art again. Katie's Cabbage is about one small act that can have very large results. It is a service learning story that embodies the nature of turning a meaningful good deed into what it means to enrich a learning experience in order to strengthen a community. Just imagine if everybody in this classroom went home today and planted a cabbage, and nurtured it for, how long, Katie? 90 days? About that long. And then gave that cabbage to a food bank. The benefits to this community would be untold, and the benefits to the classroom would be immeasurable. For me, the opportunity to paint Katie's story was a dream come true. But you don't have to wait for an opportunity to illustrate a story. You can write one of your own in your own garden, and you can illustrate it too. So go out there and make some art and write some stories.
Thank you so much. I did want to also recognize that we do have with us our city manager. I'm not going to put her on the spot to speak, but I just wanted to recognize her for coming in. Thank you so much for being here. And then we talk about how important education is. And so one of our readers tomorrow is Lady June Cole from Allen University. And I'd like to recognize Lady June, and please stand. Thank you so much. So you can see this is a true partnership, and I just want to make sure that everyone knows the breadth of this partnership. I talked about Richland School District 1, University Press, which is the publishing wing of University of South Carolina. We'd like to thank them. They helped us select this year's book. They were the publisher for Katie's Cabbage, and they've been our partner for the last 2 years, and I thank them so much. But tomorrow, part of the readers that we have joining us are participants from the City of Columbia, Columbia City Council, Richland School District 1, the Board of Commissioners of Richland One, Richland County Council, and I would like to ask Councilman Jim Manning to please stand and recognize him. And I will have to tell you from County Council, Jim reads with us every single year, and one year we actually forgot to ask him, and he called us, so I thank you so much for your commitment to participating. We also have representatives from SCANA, the Columbia Fireflies, the Columbia Council of Neighborhoods, the U.S. Department of Justice, Columbia College, South Carolina Senate, Richland One Board of Commissioners, I mentioned that, Columbia Chamber of Commerce, the University of South Carolina, Allen University, the United Way, the Community Relations Council, the Richland County Treasurer's Office, the Columbia Classical Ballet, Benedict College, and the 5 Points Association. So you can see the diversity of readers that we have, and I want to ask you all to please give yourselves a hand. And I will say that if there are any companies or businesses that I omitted, please accept my apology. We've got so many readers, and having to make sure that we've gotten everybody down, we may have missed somebody. So if you are representing another business, I thank you so much. So as I close, I want to again thank you so much for your participation. We do not take this lightly. We know that everybody has very busy schedules, but I will tell you that tomorrow this will be such a rewarding experience. See the eyes light up as you go into that school and read that book. And then when those students are told that they will be able to get their own copy of a book, will be extraordinary. We would ask if you don't mind, after tomorrow, share with us via email some of your experiences. We always like to hear from our readers, but I will tell you that not only will you touch the lives of those children, but those children will touch your life tomorrow, and we're so excited to continue this program.